am Miss Mary from the Gloucester Branch Library, and welcome to our STEM is Fun experiment. Now, for this experiment, we will need to use the oven, so please make sure that you have your parents' permission and their help to use this. Don't use it on your own. Okay, so let's talk about supplies. We are going to need 4 cups of white vinegar, 4 tablespoons, that's tablespoons, not teaspoons, of baking soda, a measuring cup, a measuring spoon, and as I mentioned, a big pot and an oven. Now, if you don't want to do all 4 cups of vinegar, because that is quite a lot, you can just scale this recipe down, just keeping 1 cup of vinegar to 1 tablespoon of baking soda. Okay, now what we're going to do with this experiment is we are going to make what's called hot instant ice, which I know sounds pretty crazy, but it's a lot of fun. I do want to warn you, this experiment can take up to 40 minutes, but a lot of that is just letting things cool down, so this video is not going to be 40 minutes long. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, of course, measure out our ingredients. We have 4 cups of vinegar, and we are going to add to it 4 tablespoons of baking soda, but we need the vinegar to be warm. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add the baking soda. I've changed the camera angle so you can see it a little better. We want to add 4 cups, but as I said, we only want to add 4 tablespoons, but as I said, we only want to add 1 tablespoon at a time because you don't want it to boil over. As you can see, it starts to bubble and fizz. And you're going to stir that in gently with a wooden spoon. Now what you want to do is get all of your baking soda to dissolve inside your vinegar, which is why the vinegar had to be warm. Let's go ahead and do that again. And as you see, it reacts pretty fun and pretty strong right at the beginning, but then it calms down. Here we go. That's 3. And finally, we're going to get 4. Now, once all of your baking soda is in your vinegar, you need to reduce it. Okay, so after we have added our baking soda and we've had our reaction, we're just going to stir this occasionally and we're going to let it reduce. So right now we have 4 cups of vinegar. We need to let that boil away and boil away until there's only 3/4 of a cup left. It doesn't have to be absolutely exact because that's rather tricky, but this is going to take about 10 minutes, if not a little bit more. Please make sure you're not leaving your stove going and just walking away. You're just going to stir it every once in a while. And what we're doing is we are reducing our solution so that it becomes concentrated. Now that's not concentrating like you might concentrate on a tough test. That is going to make all of that baking soda super fill up the vinegar, and that will help us to form the instant ice. So you're just going to keep an eye on this, let it reduce, and once it has reduced, once you are down to about 3/4 of a cup, you need to let it cool. So we're going to put it back in our measuring cup, and we're going to let it cool first down to room temperature and then down to freezing. So you can do that by either placing it in your freezer, or since it is so very cold outside right now, you might just stick it outside for a little bit. And that is the part that takes the longest. That is when I was talking about earlier that this might take 40 minutes. Most of that is just letting this cool down. And it does need to be in freezing temperature. Okay, so we'll come back in a little bit and check in on that. All right, boys and girls, we finally made it to the last step of our STEM experiment. Now, you are going to get a plate. I've got my silly dog plate here so that you'll be able to see it because the crystals are going to be white. And you want to put in just a sprinkle of baking soda to help get it started. And then you're going to very, very gently pour your solution into the middle of the plate. If you're having trouble pouring it slowly enough, which I am, you can use a spoon and just get up a little bit at a time. And then when we put it in cup, there we go. Now it's doing what it's meant to do. So, not sure if you can see this okay, but we're going to try. Here we go. We've got these lovely, lovely crystals forming. And you can stack them all the way up. Oops. Let me bring this a little closer to the camera so you can see. Now, the most fun part about this is, let's grab a chunk. Let's bring this nice and close. You can see they're fun little crystals. They look a lot like ice, but when you touch them, they are warm. So, go ahead and try to make instant hot ice at home and see how you do. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.